Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Houston and Sean podcast. This is
And look,
episode 19. Dang it.
19. It's definitely 19. I know because I watched episode 18 recently because I was looking at my mustache that I shaved. So I wanted to
Mhm.
watch that the other night to see if I made a mistake by shaving. But go ahead.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we're on episode 19. Onward and upward with the Houston and Sean podcast.
More like upward and downward.
We're
Anyway,
still waiting for a record deal. Houston is and I are both in a different location than normal. Uh it looks like Houston's in a hotel room in Jersey is my guess.
and the walls are covered in snot colored wallpaper. It looks like snot colored. But anyway, go ahead.
It's not really.
Uh, anyways, just if anyone wants to pay me for any sponsorship deals, like what I mean,
Mm.
I think it's backwards, isn't it?
No, it's right.
On my computer, it's backwards. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm in my car in front of a library. I've been studying for the LSAT, which is like the law school admission test. So I'm gonna take that in November. See how that fares me. And then this is my car has a TV that was installed like back in the early 90s and it still works. I did have to sort of finagle it a little bit, but I have a TV for the my sons and basically right now like sometimes during my breaks of the studying, I'll just come out and watch some random thing that the library a DVD that the library has. So I picked one on Africa. So this is about turtles getting to the sea. I feel like all African videos have turtles getting to the sea.
I
You
love
know, it's like
turtles. Are you talking? Are they sea turtles?
yeah, they're sea turtles. They just sort of are born with the urge to get to the sea, and they have to overcome all these obstacles like predators and things. And some of them aren't going to make it. But the fact that they are just hundreds of them just flying out there like D-Day, trying to get to the sea. I mean,
I've seen that in a lot of documentaries when I was, like National Geographic. I love that shit. I love sea life in general. I'm a big fan of like aquatic animals because they're scary looking.
yeah,
The underwater world is like prehistoric creatures and everything that have been alive for like 30 million years. And to
right.
me, as a guy who likes spooky stuff, like
Hmm.
the ocean is the scariest thing on earth, I think. Like there's some scary stuff in the ocean. The sea turtles
No, I
look
agree.
nice. They're cute and lovable.
Yeah, I developed a phobia of sharks when I was very young, and it was because of you.
Because I made you
Uh,
watch Jaws. Guess what? My cousin Matt, the same thing. We went to Maine together and I made him watch Jaws, and he's terrified of sharks to this day. So I screwed up two people, and
yeah,
I have no regrets. So I'm
you know,
Jason Howell. That's what I do.
I
No,
just think with Jaws. I was too young. And honestly, I think at any age, it's a very creepy feeling to not be able to see what's underneath you, and you're swimming. I'm sort of helpless swimming, anyways.
that's the thing. It's like you're not in your natural element when you're in the water. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You can't run away because you can
Yeah,
only go as good as a swimmer as you are. You know what I
right.
mean? So it's like you can't just run from whatever's coming after you.
Yeah, I'm far less worried about bears, even though I'm sure if I'm hiking in a mountain, I'm sure there's as equal a risk. But yeah, it's like I'm not worried about bears. I think I'd try to at least figure something, and if not, then I'd see you guys in the next life. But I do think, yeah, I remember walking into the Grand Tetons um, probably last year, probably directly a year ago, and I saw these signs for bear spray, you know, and I'm just thinking, I'm not gonna really want bear spray. Like, is that gonna help? That'll just
No,
piss him off.
bears,
It's like,
bears,
ah!
bears
He's
they
like,
don't give a
dang it, ow.
Yeah, like
that's not
bears
gonna,
are they're gonna just slap that shit out of your hand. They
with
don't
my
care
hand
about
along with
right.
it. It'll take my hand and my bear spray with it.
Yeah, the bears have no rules, man. They don't care about the law. They don't care about your feelings. They're
Yeah,
bears.
like I can't like bear spray. Is that like, what do I think of? I think of like, mace. And, a bear is a much different thing than a guy at night for, like I don't think of bears as like having, like you said, like having the same rules. It's like as somebody that would be affected by like mace in their eyes.
I guarantee if you spray them, they'll just get pissed off and be even more violent.
Yeah. But yeah.
Forget about it. Forget about it. I'm
No,
going to
but the
New
wild, but,
Hampshire.
but nature is so beautiful. Look at
Yeah.
this little guy. Wait, now it just has a boat. Hold on. Look, I mean, they're so like, wouldn't that be fun to be over in Africa just filming this guy?
My mom went to Africa during COVID.
That's that's good.
That was scary.
Yeah, for because of COVID.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it was like right when COVID hit, and I was worried. Everyone was worried that they were going to shut the airports down. But she went on a safari and everything, and I just thought it was the coolest. I would love to do that. Go on a safari.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, me
Would
too.
would you be scared? Would you be scared of the lions?
No, 100% not.
I don't know.
I'm not
I don't
scared
know.
of anything. I feel like anything with outlined parameters of like, people have done this, people have been safe.
Mhm.
It's at that point, it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
I would just probably I'd be the one that'd be like, I'm not scared. I'm not scared of the lions. And I'm like shutting my like, man, lions, forget about it. They're like
Yeah,
bears of from a different part of the world. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, they're so beautiful at a distance, but
Yeah.
just wouldn't want to be face to face with one. Yeah, I mean, I think like mankind has really only been able to survive because I guess of our dinky. Even I don't, like tools and things like that. I mean, I think that helped. I mean, but there was a certain point in history where all those animals had just as equal of a chance to you know get rid of them, get
Well,
rid
yeah,
of us.
yeah, and like again, going back to like ocean life, man, I just think it's cool that there's prehistoric creatures that still live on Earth in the ocean. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
I think that's so like sharks are like from like the dinosaur ages.
yeah. There's depths of the sea where there's monsters and creatures that we
Yeah.
don't even really know about.
Have you ever
You know,
seen a goblin shark?
no,
That
I've
is
not.
scary. Google that. That is a shark that is terrifying looking.
Look at these turtles. Look at them. They're all doing exactly what they're born to do. Look, that one made it. I'm happy for him.
Do you remember when I had a snapping turtle?
Yeah,
And like I I was trying to make it I had to like feed it like worms and like um they had like turtle food, but it wouldn't eat the turtle food. It would only eat the worms. And so I had to get worms. And like I don't remember what happened to that poor guy, but I think he passed. Very he something happened to him. And then I
yeah,
buried him. I buried him outside by the river. Godspeed, little turtle.
yeah. Godspeed. The Emily had she
Go
my
ahead.
ex-wife, she
Getting
raises
emotional. Go ahead. Go ahead.
kind of looked like an
His
emotional
name was Raoul. I'm sorry, you were
close,
saying?
close brother to Houston. Um, I've sometimes I've sometimes poked fun at Houston because
I
in
look like a
certain pictures
turtle.
he can look
We
turtly.
we've
And I think
talked
I'd
about
rather.
this. Remember, we talked about how I look like a turtle in some pictures and they drives me nuts. And Sean pointed it out in my yearbook picture one year, and I've never gotten it out of my head.
I
We
mean,
talked about
ladies.
that.
I mean, we're all self conscious. Everybody, every single one of us. I feel like you're self conscious of being turtly.
Yeah, I don't like looking like a turtle, and that's photos. That's why I don't smile in pictures.
Mm.
ever since I was a teenager, I stopped smiling in pictures, and I just go, and everybody thinks I'm weird, but I'm like, if I smile, I'm gonna look like a turtle.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't know, I look more like, I don't know, serious.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, so my ex-wife Emily, who we're pretty much best friends now, very odd situation, but she got two sister puppies. So these two girls, they're like, I would say at this point, not even maybe around 2 months, but they're like the delight of the earth. Like you can, there's really no better feeling. Like she has Emily has this big bean bag, and I'll collapse on the bean bag, usually just like with my head down, and I just let the girls just like run on my back, and they fight each other on my back, and they play with each other on my back, and honestly, it's a very sweet feeling. I mean, like there's just a there is absolutely a place in my heart for animals, because certainly they think on another level. Have we done
What kind of
animals
dogs,
on a podcast?
what kind of dogs did you say they were?
They're like some lab. It's like a mix though. They're not full lab. They're a little smaller than labs, but
So
sweet, sweet girls.
I've actually I love dogs, but I've never really had my own dog. You know what I mean? I had dogs
Mhm.
growing up and they were misbehaved. I don't know if you remember Maggie, the black lab.
I remember Maggie.
Maggie never was out of control, remember? Just jumped on you all the time.
Yeah, she was very hyper. Yeah, I think nobody really liked her but you. You
I
know what
was
I
the
mean?
only one that Peter, my stepdad, couldn't. I'm sorry, I was filming the podcast while we were. Um, Peter couldn't stand Maggie because Maggie kept chewing up all the like expensive like pipes in the house or whatever. She would chew everything.
Yeah,
Do they chew these puppies?
she does. They do both of them.
That's what they do.
Uh, they do it. I mean, they're hyper. And they have their little hierarchy, which we do too. I mean, we clearly have that system as people, but they do too. I mean, you know, Grace, their names are Gracie and Cindy, but Gracie is the dominant one. She will always be the boss. There's no way that Cindy can do anything about it, but they still wrestle each other. I think it's just natural and they like it. It's like playing. But in the end of the day, Gracie will be the boss. Cindy will sort of not be, but that's okay, right? I mean, and Cindy's kind of loving. She's more of the cuddly one, and Gracie sort of, kind of like gets in your face, like now it's my turn to cuddle, and that sort of thing. But um, you just can't help but like love them and want to squeeze them. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they really are like just like so cute that it's just unbearable.
Yeah, there's no animal I think that beats a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
And
really think
puppies,
dogs are they're just created for us, for mankind.
yeah,
And they're wolves. They're wolves, man.
they are. They
They're
are. Yeah,
wolves.
so I have been studying at this library here. I'll show the audience, right? And well, so my goal is to be able to use this time to sort of be able to up my score on the law school admissions test when I take it next month. But I had a prompting to sort of check out the church across the street like yesterday, and the reason I bring this up is because they actually held it outside, and there was a part where the pastor blessed all of the dogs, and everybody had brought their dog. It was like a dog community, and I liked it, but it was weird to me because I spent so many years in the Mormon church, which is very like structured and everything,
Hmm.
and like to see a guy like like bless the puppies and everything was sort of odd. But I don't hold anything against it. It's just not what I was used to. But I think very interesting. Like how people like, people's views on the differences of religion and everything. I just sort of chose the one that happened to be across the street. It's a Lutheran church, and um, yeah, like I thought, like if I'm using my mind to like kind of like try to bring about a purpose for me for 6 days of a week, like it might help to have a break on a Sunday and just sort of show my respects to a higher power. But yeah, I had never been to a Lutheran church. I liked it. It was peaceful. I felt a little out of place, um, because nobody knew me, and I sort of just left, afterwards. But just to try to show my respects. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts, Houston?
I haven't, I don't know, because I remember you taking me to the Mormon church.
Did I do that? I don't remember that.
Yeah, and I felt very out of place.
Mm,
Um, uh, but I don't know. I haven't been to church in a long. I go to AA meetings. Those are held in churches,
right.
and AA is kind of
It's spiritual.
it's spiritual. It can be religious. So to me, like in AA, you need to find a higher power and
Right.
everything.
That's like the first step.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Well, that's the first step is it's something else, but that's like I think the third step of the steps of the steps of the steps. But
It's got a lot of steps.
yeah, so that's something that's kind of when I'm in and out of that community a lot, but when I'm in it, it's it's supposed to be all about finding a spiritual ground to make yourself a better person. So that's kind of where I'm at with all of it. I mean, it makes you feel good. Like I've thought about, I lived close to Wilmington where we grew up in the city, like doing a volunteering at like a soup kitchen or something, stuff like that.
Yeah, because
Because
why not? I mean, like, you know, as a as a guy, sometimes like it's interesting. Like, I I feel so small. I feel so insignificant. But there's, like I think there's reasons that we're gifted with like a consciousness that has awareness that I know that I'm me and that you're you and you've been my best friend for 30 years. Like, there's got to be reasons for that. Not that I completely understand all of it, but there's got to be reasons why these zebras. You see, like why they're there. Like I don't think they're just there for no reason. But not that I totally would understand myself. I don't think what the reason is, but I do think there's significance. I mean, or I guess an individual has should have the ability to bring to the table like what they feel like the significance is, and um, what makes them a good person. I mean, like at the end of the day, like you know, what that is and where you find your center. I think is important.
I think it's all about, I mean, like it's all about helping others. And you know, sometimes I try to do that, and then other times I'm just like selfish. So it's a thing that you constantly work on. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, everyone, I would love to see the whole world in unity. Am I totally rambling right now?
I think it's deep. It's deep. Peace
It's
sign.
whenever I start getting a deep thought and I start saying it out loud, it tends to ramble on and on and on and on and on.
I have the thought a lot that I'm not. I'd like to better myself. Like that's why I guess I'm in the gym. It's why I'm studying for a test and gonna attempt a third degree for whatever reason. Even though the two before have never really done anything, I believe that you know because education systems are there, like a guy can legitimately use something in the education system to maybe better themselves. But the thought I have a lot is I'm not competing against people. I really just want to be better than myself. Like where have I been? and where can I go? Like, I think that, it's a gift to have a conscious awareness that's maybe a little bit different than, the other animal species, other animals that are here, to have a conscious awareness of a self, and, my relationship with myself to others, and my thought a lot is, how can I be better than I was? And, or how can I try new things? And I don't think it should stop. Like, I don't think if I get a degree, get a good job, it should stop there. I think high school will never, in my opinion, never be the best days of my life. I think, sometimes a guy ends up getting stuck in that trap where it's like, well, high school was the best. Now I'm just sort of here doing what I need to do. I'm doing my job for my family. But high school was the best years of my life. For me, it's like, I hope my best year of my life is my last year on earth. Like, may that be 80 years old or whatever. That should be my best year if possible. Like, I shouldn't just, I like,
High school should never be the best time of anybody's life.
yeah, it's a
And
stepping stone.
high school for me or us kind of was rough, right? Wouldn't you say?
100% high school sucked. I,
High school was rough for me. For I went to like 50 different high schools, and it was not like, I mean, I had fun. I had a lot of fun, especially with you doing all that crazy stuff. But
yeah, no
a lot
regrets.
of it was like dark and dreary. Like it was a weird time. And
Mm,
anybody who says like high school is the best time of their lives peaked in high school. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
right.
And that's not good.
No, I think if a guy ever finds himself stuck in his life, just take that as an opportunity. Like, and you know, I've had this thought a lot because I have felt stuck recently. But it's sort of like when I was in Florida in high school, they had this thing that I went out into McCullough, which was like right near the city, but kind of more hillbilly. And I watched a bunch of high school guys and college guys and girls just take their trucks through mud, and they would purposely launch their truck into the mud, and then they would show how cool they were by trying to push that truck out of the mud.
Mhm.
But maybe that could be a symbol. Like, mud bogging could just sort of be like, there is always going to be a person that takes getting stuck as an opportunity, you know, to get out of that the best they can, and to try. It's, getting stuck doesn't have to be, this sucks, I give up. Getting stuck could always just be, this sucks, I have this opportunity. Maybe I feel like it's my last chance, but I'm going to give it hell, and I believe in that principle. Like, if you're stuck, give it hell. That's, if life has thrown you a serious lemon, give it hell. Turn it around. you know uh there's always a way to sort of approach the day, and you can approach it with a lazy, crappy attitude, or you could wake up with a bang, exert a crap ton of energy, even if that means like later on you'll be a little tired. Who gives a crap? Just approach it with, life is good. And I believe that's a good way to live. Life is good. I'm gonna make the best out of today. Welcome day. Welcome the day, because like, you have that little bit of earth that's just you, and just welcome the day. Claim that day, that little part of the day that's just you, as, I'm gonna I'm gonna go about it the best I can. Like, whether the weather's good or whatever you have to sort of just enjoy. And what can you grow on? Like, what are your skills? How can you increase them a little bit? I think that's a good way to live. What do you think?
I agree. I agree with all of it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been podcast episode 19. Just remember to,
Diet
like,
Coke. Remember Diet Coke. Buy
remember
it
Diet
now
Coke.
at the
Remember
stores.
remember Diet Coke. Remember, animals deserve our love. And remember that, whatever you need to do to get yourself out of a rut, you always have that. There's always that fire within you that you can you can light that fire and do good things with yourself. That's what I believe, and that's what I'm going for. And
And we're
anyway,
gonna end the show with a couple faces from Houston How.
okay, go.
This guy? Are you talking about this guy? Are you talking about me? I don't know what I'm doing there. I don't know if that's Kermit the Frog or
I feel like your face is a little in danger of being swallowed by your neck. You're taking a big poop. You're taking a big deuce.
oh my God, Sean, I can make horrifying faces. I'm not making the best faces I can because I don't want people to see it because it'll forever ruin people's interpretation of me. That's how powerful the faces can get.